I was 16 years old, and I had just received my driver's license. I remember it like it was yesterday, taking my first solo drive to go get my hair cut. When I pulled into the parking spot, there's an old man in an oxygen tank that started yelling at me. "You're gonna hit my car! You're gonna hit my car!" I remember freaking out because he was yelling at me, so I started to back up my car. As I did this was when I scraped against his car, hitting it. The old man went inside and had one of the hairdressers come out and help talk to me. They asked for my car insurance, and I immediately started looking for it in my glove box. I found that it was not there. I then remember that the previous week, my sister got pulled over in this same exact car while driving down from the mountain. The cop told us that the car insurance was expired, so we took it out of the car when we got home to let mom and dad know, and they had yet to give me the new insurance. I then immediately called my parents to tell them what had happened and that I needed them to bring me the car insurance. Luckily, they were only a 10-minute drive away. Meanwhile, I'm freaking out in my car. I have tears pouring down my face. The hairdresser came back out and taps on my window. I roll it down and try to calm down enough so I can tell her that my car insurance is not in the car, but that my parents are on their way. I then called my mom back to ask, "Where are you guys? Are you almost here?" I was on the phone with them for about 5 minutes, and then I heard the police sirens. "Mom, I think they called the police. I hear sirens." I was right about the hairdresser calling the police. I could then see the car pulling into the parking lot, and they parked directly behind my car. My mom then let me know that they were 2 minutes away from where I was, and she reminded me that as a minor, I had a right to not say anything to the officer and to tell them that I did not want to talk to them or say anything till my parents arrived to help with the situation. The officer then tapped on my window and started yelling at me to roll it down. I rolled it halfway down and tried to start talking to him. He yelled again. "I said roll the window all the way down." I then told him, trying to calm my voice, as a minor, I would feel it safer if I did not speak to you till my parents got here. They will be here any minute, and that's my right as a minor to not want to talk to you. The officer told me that I had no rights, and then kept yelling at me. While this was happening, my parents showed up, tried walking over to the car to check in with me and to see if I was okay. The officer started yelling at them, telling them to step back and that they could not approach the car to check in on their son. This pissed my dad off, and he started yelling at the cop, which resulted in the officer handcuffing my father and throwing him in the back of his car. My dad continued to yell profanity the entire time he was in that back seat. The officer then cautiously let my mother approach my driver's side window so she could talk with me, while he called for backup. A senior officer showed up a few minutes later, and then told the young officer how out of line he was for everything he did, yelling at a minor, cuffing a father and refusing to let these parents come to the aid of their son when they had done nothing wrong. The older officer then reminded me that if I ever felt threatened, even by a police officer, that I have every right to call 911. Even to this day, I still do not feel comfortable talking to the cops because of this incident from when I was 16 years old. Every time since this event, when I've been pulled over by an officer, my guard immediately goes up, and I become afraid of how they might violate their role as a police officer. But thanks to the love and support of my parents, I am always able to get through every situation.